Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. We are getting down and chatty with this month's Sit Down with Shan, and I think it's a topic, I don't think we've delved into it before. We may have spoke about it in vlogs, but I thought, you know what, there seems to be a lot more chat about this. So we are going to be speaking about women's safety. This may be triggering for some because I haven't read through the responses just yet. I have seen a few responses and some could be triggering on attacks that women have endured, for example. So if that is something that is going to affect you, please don't feel you need to watch it. Stay safe and I will see you in a video that is more suitable for yourself. But if not, me and Mr. Fox here, we're going to be sitting with the good old iPad and we are going to be delving into what on earth seems to have gone wrong in this world with women. Why are we no longer safe to, it seems to do anything, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I feel this is going to be a long one, so get comfy. Right, so if you want to get involved in like sit downs with Shan or scandals, anything like that, my email is always down below, guys. If you just send me an email, sometimes if you'd like to send a photo so I can put a face to the name, I love that. Or if not, just drop an email, and then what I'll do is I'll add you to like kind of database in essence, and it will all be blind copy CC'd in when I do these, so you don't get everyone else's details. But if there is anything you want to get involved in, as I say, scandals, sit down, mukbangs, confessions, anything like that, I will always let you know via email. Or if not, catch me over Instagram. It is still AllThingsShannonLeighxx. Again, it's down below. I do things on my stories there to say to you, right guys, this is the topic, this is what's coming up, let's get into it. And I'm trying to think of a new series for 2025. I feel like we have Sit Down with Shan, we have Scandals with Shan. I want another something with Shan, but I just don't know what it is. So if anyone has any ideas, please do let me know. But yeah, 2025, I think I'm going into my 30s, so why shouldn't we do a new little series? But this one, as I say, is all about women's safety. So, as I say, if it's going to be triggering to anyone, I will see you in another video. Please don't feel you have to watch this. One Lovely says, I don't feel safe at all and I won't go out unless I'm with someone like my mum or my husband. This is a thing I've noticed a lot more, that women don't want to be out alone. A man who'll go out, whatever, yeah. I saw a video the other day and it was like, how are you getting home? And it was, you know, on TikTok where you swipe through. And it was, don't worry, I'll cycle back. And then when you went, there was a newspaper article of a woman who had been attacked cycling back through a country park. Don't worry, I'll get the train back. Someone was assaulted. Don't worry, I'll get the bus back. Someone was sexually assaulted. Don't worry, I'll call an Uber. Assault. You see where this is going, and it seems to be that even just to try and do the mundane things, it's not that simple. And I don't know where it has gone so wrong. Growing up, there was never anything like this so mainstream, so public, so just so in your face and so daily, like daily reoccurrences of such acts. It was never a thing like this. You might have an occasional assault, an occasional attack, or it may have happened, it just wasn't put in the media. But now I feel that whenever there is anything to do with women in the media, it is always through an assault of some kind. I've seen an article on Daily Mail I've been following the past couple of days, and you may have seen it too. It absolutely sickens and baffles me. A lady is appearing in court. She's took away anonymity. She's not hiding behind an anonymous profile, to be perfectly honest. And she is in court to be told that the most obscene things have been done to her while her husband drugged her for other men to do things. This lady's like, she's middle-aged, and her husband, I think they said there was about 72 individuals from photos and videos, and they've got 50 of them that will be standing trial, I believe, alongside the husband. And this woman had no idea that these things had happened to her. She was drugged. Her husband physically drugged her and let other men do things to his wife. And can you imagine being told, can you just imagine being told that, like, you're drugged so you're not aware of anything? And if, say, she'd have woke up and maybe had bruising or anything like that, he could have said, sorry guys, oh, you had a fall, or you got a bit like drunk last night. Like, this lady was none the wiser, and I think it went on for a good few years. And I've been following the case, and I just think the children in the family are absolutely mortified, like any normal person would be. But as a husband, why? You're having group chats with other men saying about the things they want to do to your wife, and you're condoning it and allowing it. If you've seen the story on Daily Mail, let me know down below. But, like, who do you trust? And there was another thing on the TikTok that I saw, and it was like, get the bus, get the train. And it was like, go to the police station. And obviously, there's been cases when the people who are there to protect us, unfortunately, are not, and are just as bad as the bad people sometimes. It's like, who do women have to protect them and look after them? This is why I feel in schools there should be like martial art classes or self-defense, especially, not just maybe for women, include, like, do it as a class thing, because if it's not assaults on women, guys can be in like gangs and stuff like that. I feel self-defense should be, sod trampolining, sod all of that. Self-defense needs to be something that's taught, and it needs to be mandatory, because the way that the world's going at the moment, guys, I don't know what on earth is going on. I saw a story as well this morning that an 85-year-old man, I believe, was murdered. They have arrested 5 children between the ages of 12 and 14. What? Like, what is going on in this world where 12 to 14-year-olds are attacking 84-year-old men, women, generation? Because now this has turned into a full-blown murder investigation in this village. And they said that the victim had been in contact with the police. So I don't know whether it was something ASB, I suppose, anything like that. I don't know, but you know when you just think, what the hell, to be perfectly honest. And I just think, where is it going so wrong? Like, where? Honestly, and I think that could potentially be one of the reasons why I don't really want children, because I think, what type of world would I be bringing them into with the way it's going? And if I was to have a boy, I would be worried they'd get caught up in gangland culture. If I had a girl, I'd be worried that she would be attacked. I would probably then do obscene things myself to the perpetrators, and that's my life, bye-bye. I don't know how it's got so bad. It seems like the last 5 to 10 years, it's just gone down the Swanee. And as I say, I don't know, it's not great that whenever you go on and there's something to do with a woman, there's always an assault. It's always the blame, in essence, put on the woman, which, oh, don't even get me started on that, because that absolutely infuriates me. One of my lovely says, my daughter has so much anxiety going out because the young youth is so vile and out of control. I was trying to think that if I was growing up now compared to my childhood, and I like to think that the 90s babies, which we were, sorry, my throat's going really funny today, the 90s babies that we are, I feel like we was the last generation before technology really come in. Like, we'd play out, you'd go over the park, you'd play knockdown ginger, you'd play curbsy, you went to your under 18 nappy disco nights. Before phones become such a thing, I think the only app I had on my phone was like Facebook. There was nothing like Instagram really, and that was more, I think, as I was going into like college, Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like that. it's not uncommon now to be out and you will see groups of youngsters and they'll just be in the middle of a shopping centre doing TikToks. Or they'll be at a bus stop doing TikToks, and I think that's all well and good, but I feel technology is taking the youth out of like their childhood. They're growing up too quickly. I'm seeing teenagers with better makeup skills than me, guys. And I'm just like, why? How? And it's obviously not just my generation, this lady, her daughter. So how is it for the generation that's actually living through it? Like, it's their generation, their friends, perhaps them themselves. How does that control, and how does that allow that child to have a normal childhood in a way? Because it baffles me. It really, really does, guys. One of my lovelies says, it was around about 10 years ago and I was with my friend when we finished work and a guy approached my friend. I gave him one look, but he ran a mile. However, she was very scared but stayed safe with me, and I waited until she boarded her bus. That is very kind of you, and as I say, I do hope that there would be more people in the world that would do that. I've seen a lot of things lately, code names for drinks in clubs. Harrods, even today, I saw an article that Harrods staff are now being trained to deal with people harassing women because people have been attacked, or outside occurrences have had a child was kidnapped, I think it said, and it took 3 hours, but they got them back. Okay, Mr. Seagull. Oh, it's that's a child, I think. I thought it was a seagull. I thought it was like, ark. Okay, no, it was an adult or a child, a person. And Harrods are training their staff now to deal with people harassing women around the store. That is a massive, massive step. And I think if a shop on that level is putting that much thought and training into an issue like this, I feel that needs to be rolled out and almost like led by example. Because it's just, you want to go and do shopping. You don't want to be harassed. You don't want to keep having someone bothering you. I also see, as I say, you have the code names for drinks in clubs. I've seen numerous videos where, say, for example, women are on trains or women are walking down the street. If they feel they're being followed or they see something that's not right, they'll see anyone walking towards them and they'll just say, can you pretend you know me, or whatever, and well, I think someone's being. And 99% of the time, people will, yep, no worries, let's go. I have seen a video before where someone's like, no, bye. And you put yourself in that situation. If you're genuinely thinking that someone's following you or something bad's going to happen and you see someone, and as a human interaction, you're like, can you just pretend you know me, or like, we're friends, like, hi, and just help me, like, I need to get to the bus stop or the train station. For another person to be like, where's your humanity? So good on you for staying with your friend, because, yeah, but also you have to think of yourself. You have to think of your own safety. One of my lovelies says, as a female, when I was younger, I always remember from school or others on how to be safe, such as not talking to strangers. If you walk on the pavement, make sure you can see the cars coming towards you and not having them travelling from behind. Don't listen to music whilst walking. Dress a certain way. Don't walk in the dark. Have an alarm. Don't go certain places or countries alone. I feel like all those reasons are the problem. Not once were we ever told not to hurt people. It was always a way of avoiding it. I feel like education from a young age needs to change, and it actually to tell people to be kind and not cause injury to others. There also needs to be more help for people that do have issues, such as anger management, etc., to try and stop them harming from anyone in the future. Certain countries need to treat women with more respect and acknowledge that we are all equal. I have plenty of stories of times when I've been catcalled in public, mainly from men who work on construction sites or guys from a local uni. When I was younger, one of them tried to offer me money to sleep with him. I said no, it's disgusting, but sometimes we get treated like a bit of meat. This is the thing that infuriates me. You'll hear comments sometimes if a woman is assaulted. It's what she was wearing. When I tell you that boils my blood beyond belief, A woman should be able to walk down the street or wherever and be in whatever she wants, and not have someone with perhaps perversions or thoughts to cause harm to that. That is not on the woman. You see men, whenever we have a bit of sun in England, the guys will be walking around in the tightest little shorts, top off most of the time. Do you see women catcalling men? Or maybe groping men or anything like that? If you do, it's very rare, I think. I've never seen or heard of women catcalling men or being like just going up and groping or touching a man. So why on earth is it acceptable the other way round? Why is it they could have lay of the land and women have to dress a certain way? Don't go walking that way. Don't be that rude. Don't listen to music. Why shouldn't we be able to listen to music walking down the street? But it's things like this that are instilled in you from a young age that you think of. When I would say get the bus to and from school, Mum would always say you have one headphone in, you don't have it over half, you need to be aware of your surroundings. When I used to walk to the gym, if I had my big headphones, you best believe I would always have one half on my ear so I could still hear around me. But such simple, mundane, daily tasks, as a woman we have to think differently. We have to think cautiously, and we almost have to think of the worst case scenario. And I had an incident last week. I was getting the bus into work and doing a walk, trying to get my steps in. But one morning I had to be in work for 6, so I had to get a 4:45 bus and then change over. I was walking, I always walk with the traffic coming towards me. That was something I was always taught as young. You walk with traffic coming towards you. And I will always, every couple of minutes so, I'll always look behind just to see who's around or whatever. And on this particular morning I was walking and I turned around and I'd seen a gentleman down the back. Carried on walking, turned around, he was still there. It was very, very early in the morning. I was talking like 10 past 5. No one was on the roads. No one was on the roads, no one was on the streets. So I stopped because I thought, let him pass. I stopped, I faffed around with my bag. And when I turned around, he was standing on his phone. So I started to walk again, and then he started to walk again. And instantly in your head, you think, right, I need to be prepared if something's going to go down. So I just slowly reached into my bag and I brought my keys out. So that's another trick that we're taught. Have something sharp, whether it be keys, a spray, an alarm. I do have a whole alarm kit. Do you think I go out with it? No. Maybe it's something I should keep on me, but I just had my keys. So I put my door key in there. I stopped again, just moved it around, and he was still there. And then I got to about halfway down the road. And when I looked, he was crossing over to go into a subway station. Me then, I'm thinking, oh, okay. But I still, as I walked, still kept looking around, because from where he went in, there was, you can get to it through various alleyways and come out other bits. So you do have to have your wits about you currently for where the area I work in. And for me, I just think, because when I was, say, starting at 6, half 6, I would catch a later bus into town and have a walk. And you do get men that if they see a woman walking towards them and they're on their own, they will either carry on about their normal business, not a problem, or they will, as they come closer, they'll kind of like stop and go to the side to let you go through. Or some of them, and I've had it quite a few times, where they literally just then cross the road. I think it shows how people maybe been brought up or what's been instilled into men. The ones that cross the road, I think you may have daughters, you may have sisters, aunties, your parents, like, you don't want that uncomfortableness. Or ones, if say you're walking towards, and it's getting a bit chilly now in the mornings, if guys have got their hoods up, it can seem intimidating sometimes. Sometimes you'll see it and they'll quickly put their hood down, like not meaning to cause offence or anything like that. But why is it such a rigmarole of all these things that we have to think of? And as I say, kudos to the men that if you go out of your way or you see someone walking towards you, a woman on their own, and you might think, oh, they might think, geez, like, ugh, you step aside, you let them go, you cross over. it's the little things that may not seem big to a guy, but it actually does mean a lot for a woman. I definitely do feel there needs to be something within schools where it spoke about what is and what isn't acceptable behaviours towards women, because I don't know where this persona comes. I don't know. When you're in school, I'm thinking maybe more secondary school, boys start to get urges, okay? And they may start to watch stuff. However, I think the stuff that they watch isn't really real life. And I think they could deem what they watch as being the appropriate way to treat someone. And they may be watching something with aggression and violence and think, because that lady's enjoying it, every woman will enjoy that. And that's an unhealthy line within society that I don't think, unfortunately, you're ever going to get rid of. But if you have youngsters or anything, it's about teaching them that what you may watch on a TV is not necessarily how it's going to be in real life with a person. Because I do think sometimes that can instigate or warp people's minds to think that's how, like, oh, an element of surprise. Like, you don't know how people's mind ticks. And I think that having such stuff so accessible nowadays, I don't think that's great for them. Again, certain countries, so I know there's been a thing over, I believe, in the Middle Eastern area where women were being attacked and bad things were happening and the women were revolting and they were standing up and saying, no, this is enough. Like, we've lived too long in this way to still be treated like this. And it baffles me that such policies and such acts still happen in some countries. How women are not seen as equal, how women have no rights, no freedom. We're very lucky here in the UK. We have a lot of freedom as women. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but some countries have nothing for that for a woman. A woman is, in essence, sometimes seen as just a child machine. And I just think, how are we still in that in this century, like in this world right now? How is that still something that, like, is allowed? And yeah, I do agree. I think catcalling is not attractive, guys. If there's any guys here thinking any bird loves getting catcalled, no. If anything, it ruins our day, and then we question what we're wearing, what we're doing, how we look, because you think it's not the type of attention that you want. If you're on a building site and you see someone and you think, God, she's a bit of alright, don't catcall. You probably get a better reaction if you was to say, you look nice today, darling, or something like that. You probably get a laugh, or you might still get a jog on. But catcalling, that's a no-go. One of my other lovelies says, nervous to go out on my own. Definitely at night more. As time goes on, you never know what to expect. Before the lockdown, we had a bunch of lads on motocross bikes going round in gangs, riding straight towards the cars. All has been quiet until last week, and now we have them on electric bikes. Faces are covered doing wheelies onto oncoming traffic. All the police can do is warn them, as they're all underage kids. This is part of the reason our house is covered with cameras and alarm, which is just notice to ADT. I remember you saying they were costing you a bomb, and ours cost nothing to fit or renew. Just 29 quid a month. Oh my goodness, they were scandaling me. Love you loads. Love you loads too. That is another thing. The whole bike situation. Like in London, for example, you must have seen the phone robberies that happen. It baffles me that something can happen like that so quick and it just be done. And unfortunately, it is quite a lot of women that are targeted because they'll be texting away or whatever. I can't lie, I am a culprit because I use my Google Maps when I'm walking around London. I know parts of London, like, no problem. But I like to still know where I'm going. And Dan says to me, will you put your phone away? We'll go from the street signs. And I'm like, no, because we could be going in a complete different direction. But you have to think safety. If we're walking down a street, Dan will always be on the side of the road. He will never have me walking on the road. He's like inside. And if I'm on my phone, Dan will be walking by the road and my phone will have to be in my right hand so that no one can come down the other side of me. He's very, very protective in that. And he's like, you need to have your wits about you, which I do. And as soon as I'm finished with my phone, I don't like putting my phone in my bag. That is my thing. I hold my phone. So if I've got a bag, I will hold my phone along like with the strap, which probably isn't the greatest, but I don't know. I just don't like having my phone on my bag. And also if we're walking, my bag will be on the inside. So it'll be like if you're trying to have a walk with an arm around, you'll have like a little bag in between you. But safety, I suppose, is the most important thing. I don't like the face coverings, but I think that again is a generational thing. I was trying to think when I was growing up, balaclavas and that wasn't really a thing. It was more the caps in my day. All the lads would wear a cap because you just pull it down and you wouldn't see their face. But if you looked up, you saw them. The whole balaclava thing is, I don't know, that just don't sit right with me. I don't really like full face coverings like that because I think that just screams what on earth is going to happen. And yes, I think sometimes you do need to have a camera and security around your house. But ADT, I don't know what's going on there, my darling, because you're saying that yours was cost nothing to fit or renew the system and 29 quid a month. Mine was costing me 4 digits to have it, and then I think it was £38 a month they wanted to charge me. But they never turned up. 2 times I rearranged that. I waited for 3 months and they never turned up. So I'm sorting out my own system. And then the one that I'm going to end on, the last one, my lovelies, they say, "Hi, my favourite family. Thank you. This is getting worse. Women should be able to walk to the shops even without this fear of being attacked. The attacks has increased, and please don't take this the wrong way, from what we have been in with an inundated of people who are not vetted and what is living beside us." This I do think is a big crux because no one knows at the moment what is happening, who is coming into the country, the checks. There doesn't seem to be any proper legal steps for this. And all you see, unfortunately, is harm caused on the street, sometimes by people who have been allowed in this country for goodness, and their acts are not always kind in return. We'll give you a few ideas of what's been happening here. A young couple was walking home from the cinema who, for being gay, were attacked, of which their genitalia was cut off and put into their mouths. That is disgusting. And that is, whoever has done that needs to be strung up. This is another thing. The whole homophobia system, you take people as they are. People live their lives how they want to, and as long as they're happy, if it doesn't affect you, why would you go out of your way to be so cruel that when I get these guys, I screenshot them and I don't read them. I might have a little scan through, as I say, just to see if there's anything to trigger to warn you at the beginning, but I don't delve into them. Because I like to get a reaction with you guys as like you're watching. I'm sure some of you are sitting there like, oh, that's a step too far. Yes, it is a step too far. An elderly mother heard her door, thinking it was her son, and went out, to which she then had her throat sliced, of which the same night an elderly man was coming home from a night out and also had the same act on him. What is going on? How are these levels of crime becoming so mundane that we're like, it's another knife attack? That is not normal. It wasn't normal 10 years ago. Why on earth is it normal now? Why have things become so rife that it's just acceptable? And the thing that baffles me is people who create such crimes, they could take months, years to get prosecuted. With recent events, people who done a Facebook post that the police didn't like have been arrested, charged and imprisoned within the space of maybe a week. But someone who is causing malicious harm and potentially taking a life from someone, that will take about a year. We need to get evidence. The whole system baffles me. I feel we need to do a Scandals with Shan on like the jury system, like the judicial system, because I feel I'd get so enraged. I really do, because I just think, what on earth is happening The rules are just gone, my lovelies. The rules are absolutely gone. And this is one of my lovelies who, they live in Ireland. So this is actually seeing it from other perspectives of not just within England. It angers me so much. How are the elderly even meant to survive if they can't go to the shops? This is their country also. I want to go back to the days to be able to sit out with our neighbours and have a cuppa and a chat. And trust me, I can hold my own, but it scares me. Not that it would scare me enough to go to the shop. Our countries are ruined, and I honestly thought after the ceasefire in Ireland, we would have started having a normal life. But now with this, I fear for my kids and grandkids. Lots of love to the three of you. Thank you. This is the thing. I think, I said it in one of my other videos, I see civil war coming. I see riots and protests and everything still continuing. And you only have to see when something happens to a woman in a certain country or a certain act, women around the world unite. Protests, marches, everything. Women are not a force to be reckoned with. Someone could think a woman one-on-one, no problem. When you have the whole congregation of women around the world come together, that's when something needs, that's when people start to think, oh, okay. I remember, I think it was last year, there was big marches and protests in London because of acts that was happening overseas. And you saw and you heard the videos of people speaking, and I remember there was, I believe, something in America where a woman didn't have the right anymore to decide if she wanted to continue with a pregnancy. They was trying to scrap that. And that caused outrage to try, and I think it was like an amendment they was trying to reverse. And I don't ever know what the ending with that was. If any of you guys do, let me know. But just to see the amount of solidarity between women coming out, I was like, wow, okay. We're not just women and people think, meh. Like, you have to, everyone on this earth pretty much has come from a woman. Women are the breeders of the world. And is that going to be like that in the future? I don't know. I don't know. But I feel the respect for women has gone. And not just for elderly or grown up. Like, even as just a child should have that respect and not be seen as an asset or seen as like a toy. It honestly baffles me. I probably should actually start taking an alarm or something out with me if I'm going that early in the morning. But that's why I was brought up and I was put into self-defense classes. I done martial arts and karate, and my dad was like, you learn to look after yourself because you never know what's going to happen. And I think I still remember bits and I still would be able to put that into practice, I think, even now. And that's why I think it needs to be mandatory in schools. It needs to be something that is taught, and it is told that this is what you do to look after yourself. And I just don't know where the world's going, my lovelies. I really, really don't. They say it has to get worse before it gets better, but I don't know how much more worse it can get. Oh God, this has been a very somber sit down with Shan, ain't it? But I think it's, I'm not shying away from issues on my channel. It's, if something's relevant and something I feel is something we can all discuss and have our input on, we're going to talk about it. And as I say, thank you so much for everyone who has sent their own stories in. It is very, very much appreciated. And it just goes to show it's not just in England. You've got one of my lovelies from Ireland, and as one of your other lovelies said, around the world. Something needs to be done. What do you think needs to be done, or what could be done to help women just live life without having such fear of the normal mundane tasks? But yes, me and Mr. Fox, we're going to bid you adieu. As I say, if you did enjoy the video, guys, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. And as I say, leave me a comment. What are your thoughts on the situations? Do you think there's certain parts of the world that have it worse? What do you think could be installed for the younger generations? Let me know down below, as I say, because otherwise it's just me sitting here waffling all the time. But yes, take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.